the last thing I found was a quote from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It says, "We might reject everything else, religion, ideology, all received wisdom, but we cannot escape the necessity of love and compassion."
That's the basic human. That's what he said. The basic human is the love of the mother. Without love, we cannot be here. Without love, we could not have this physical body. Is that right? That's the basic need of human, or even the animal too. You see how you care for your pet, right? When you yell, they run. When you pat them, they come, they jump on your lap. That's normal. So, what do you think? Compassion is an opposite with what? What do you think? It is antidote of
stingy.
Of
Anger.
yeah, anger. Yeah. See that? Okay. And this so lofty. Look at here. This Santideva in the book is really important. If you want to practice Bodhisattva precept, you have to know Bodhisattva-Part. It's not easy. It's what's called Bodhisattva part of life. May I become food and drink in the areas of famines for those who poverty is stricken. It's easy. May I be a doctor, medicine, and nurse for all the sick. May I become never-ending wish, fulfill treasure material for in front of all other people when they need. Basically, you give everything. Can you? Not easy. Well, of course, you do everything. If you have children, you give to them. Is that right? You don't take from them anything. You give to them. But even you are, if you are daughter or son and family, right? You help out. Sometimes you help out your parents. Sometimes you help out your friends. You do that, but you do only in a partial way. Make sense? Most of all of us, we give some ways, but we don't recognize. Is that right? But in this Bodhisattva path, in this real compassion, let me put this way. What's the difference between love and compassion? Is there any different? Love and compassion. Is there any different?
Attachments.
Yeah, thank you. That's the point. Why?
Because we're looking for something in return.
Condition. Is that right? If you love me, I love you. Otherwise, get out here. Is that right? It's simple. That's love, Paul. Right? Valentine you give to that lady, to give the flowers to that lady or that gentleman, not other people. Love, you limit yourself. Compassion, you care for everyone, for other people, without any condition. Whether they harm you or praise you. Is that easy?
It's easy if they praise you, but then if they harm you or they condemn you,
that's real compassion. Is that right? Most of the time, if the people support us, oh, they are best friends, they're good friends, right? If someone steps on our foot, well, that's our enemy. Is that right? But in Buddhist view, I'm sorry, my fault. So I have forgot to turn off.
Someone in the hallway.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not easy, is that right?
Especially when nobody else sees it that way. If you're trying to be compassionate and do all the precepts and everything, and nobody else is, it's really, really hard.
What happens if people take advantage on you? That's a big problem, right? They ask again and again, right? It's not easy. But
oh, she'll do it. She's a Buddhist. She has to help me.
No, not every Buddhist. Even me, sometimes it's not easy to do this kind of practice too, right? Yes?
I think a lot of people, myself included, I used to think that compassion was just feeling sorry for others and wishing that they had it better. But the Dalai Lama, I read a really simple quote of his the other day. I'm not going to quote it directly, but he said it's also not only that desire to help them, but to taking action to help them. Going on with it and being the one to create the change for them.
If you read this carefully, here, may I be a guide for those who do not have a guide, and may I become a bed for those who need a rest. Can you? You see that? Basically, whichever thing you have, this kind of real compassion. If you have real compassion, you give everything, nothing for yourself. That's real compassion.
I thought of two from the New Testament, two examples that
What
are
is that?
similar, I think. There's the parable of the Good Samaritan, where someone's hurt on the side of the road and people are passing by and don't want to help. And then the Samaritan stops and helps them.
Yeah.
And then there's where they talk about if someone slaps you in the face, turn the other cheek, don't hit the back, to show, to not be angry or.
Of course, this kind of teaching is so universal, but depends on the tradition. It's more specific, right? And plus, how many people are willing to do this kind of practice? Make sense? It's not easy, right? Especially, of course, it's easy for us to have the one who is used to support us, right? That's mutual support. But the one who step on our foot, the one who obstruct our ways, the one harm us, can we be compassionate toward them? What do you think?
It takes a lot of work on
Yeah, it's not easy. But if you read this Bodhisattva, what they call Bodhisattva path of life, or the way of life, Bodhisattva way of life. He give analogy, according to Buddha teaching that, let's say if someone harm you, let's say if someone steal your laptop, right? And if you know that person have stolen your laptop, and eventually he will get caught, right? And pay the price. Is that right? So if you practice Bodhisattva path as a Bodhisattva, you have to have compassion to one person. That because of the bad seeds, bad deeds, so now he's in trouble. Is it understandable?
So you wouldn't try to go find this guy? I mean, if you knew he had it?
That's the point. No way. That's a real compassion. No
Okay.
matter whether they're good or bad, you treat them in an equal way.
But am I supposed to let this guy off the hook? If I know.
That's the goal, but somehow it's not easy in practice, right? Let's say if someone come into your house and point a gun to you this girl, but to your children, you stand there and watch? No way. You have to do something, right? Either call 911 or you have to act in order to protect your children. And again, it's many levels. Understand that? And the many levels of understanding. In the past, the Buddha, especially in many stories, what they call in the Jataka story. Jataka tale. In the past, he told about his past that sometimes people ask for his head. He get out too. Not talking about the money, not talking about his possession, his goal and so forth.
So he would die for another person.
That's called Bodhisattva. You give out everything. The more you give, the more. Remember we told last time that's the golden rules. But remember we talked about the 3 items, right? Mature. Remember, give out material, right? Right. And that's the first one. And what's that? The second one is mental support, right?
Yeah, spiritual.
Mental support, right? And the last one is spiritual support. Here, material one, that's including what they call external material, like the money, right? Your properties, but internal given, that means even sometimes you give blood. Is that right? How about bone marrow? Not yet. You did? Not yet. Okay. And how about in your driver's license? You have organ donor yet?
Yeah.
Most of you, right? I have that too. That's the last chance in our life we can give. That's called internal giving. You see? So we can give. You do already, but you don't know. Is that right? You see? So we have that kind of kindness. But in this way, the Bodhisattva path, Bodhisattva compassion way of life, encouraged to do more. With this kind of actual This kind of actual guidelines. And you do. You are your mother. You are the best for your children. Is that right? You are need whenever they need. You can provide a guideline, right? To provide the medicine. You do everything, but only for your children, not for other children. Is that right?
They could come to my house, I would do it.
Okay. No, talking about we have
But yes.
that kind of abilities. We have that kind of skill already, but we in our family circle, our relative circle. But so this would set apart, encourage to step out of our realm to help other people, regardless of gender, race, and so forth. You understand that? That's called the real Buddhist, real compassion, the authentic compassion. Is that clear now? Easy? It's hard. Easy to understand, it's hard to practice. Okay, let's move on.
Especially when they take advantage of it.
That's the
Like
point.
she said.
Even your children, right?
They're
What happened? When they take advantage on you.
They just don't even understand that what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids don't even understand how much parents give to them.
That's right.
I
And they
think
complain.
kids don't. I don't think kids would upset. I mean, yeah, they'll take advantage of the situation, but like she said, they don't know what they're really doing, and that's when you teach
That's
them.
okay.
But it's when adults do it, when they're like, oh, I know this person will do this, or I know this person will do this for me, or this, and it's the same thing every day, and it wears down on you. Do you say stop at that point?
Yeah, I paused a story at Shariputra. Remember I told you about Shariputra? He's one of the Buddha man's disciples. One day he was accused falsely by another monk, and so he went out to beg for forgiveness. Even he didn't do anything wrong, and he said that my mind is like the ground, my mind is like the earth. Whoever I step on, that's okay. So that's monk, the one who falsely accused him, repented later on. So one lady I know of in this area, she commented, what happened if I was abused physically and mentally? How could I handle? How can I be patient? How can I be compassionate to the abuser? What do you think? Is that easy? Is that right?
Maybe by seeing that the abuser suffers too, and that's why they are.
Sometimes, you have to remember compassion go hand in hand with wisdom. These two have to be go hand in hand, right? When you compassionate, when you care for your children, doesn't mean that you spoil them. Is that right?
You have to have rules.
Yeah. You give them a guideline, but of course, you care for them, but you give them the guideline because of wisdom. So you teach them how to appreciate the thing that you provide to them, not to give out and spoil them. That's a different story. Makes sense? So it depends on the situation. And if you understand that this is the repeat abuser, so you have to say no. You have to stop somewhere on the way. So, but with your own, with your compassion, not with your anger. Is that right? Most of the time, when people make mistake, and we think, let's say the children, when the children make mistake, it's easy for us to yell at them. Is that right? To admonish them with what? Anger. Is that right? So I have heard many stories. The children, when they grow up, they don't remember the thing that parents have done for them, but they remember the thing that when the parent yelled to them. Is that right?
Probably so.
Even us, right? Sometimes we blame on our parents. Or when they were young, my parents did that to me and so forth. But we don't remember the moment or things that our parents have done for us. You see that? So when we try to treat them, try to treat in the compassionate way, not because of anger. Is that right? Okay. So that's compassion. Again, Asia, what do you have here? Excuse me, we talked about that before, right? Yeah, what's about?
Well, okay, I got that it's kind of like a concept that emphasizes the, like, I don't know, it's like practitioner, but I guess that kind of means like professionals can use their own types of even if it's like not necessarily true or good, it might still be okay to perform or view to hold if it's going to bring someone closer to their true realization. Skillfulness is very important because especially when it comes to the actions of the Bodhisattva, the idea is that a Bodhisattva or practitioner may use any practical methods in order to help ease the suffering of people, introduce them to the Dharma, or help them on a road to nirvana. So I think it's kind of similar to like having good intentions. That's what I got.
Okay. We discussed last time, right? Remember I told you about, actually I showed you last time about the video clips that I done the wedding ceremony for that couple, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I adopt the Western unity candles. That's here, not in our traditions. That's the skill mean. Plus, whenever you want to go to school, regardless of the weather, whether it's cold or hot, you try any means to get here. Is that right? Mm-hmm. If somehow there's some problems, some icy problem on particular road, you try to use another road. That's skill mean. That's what you do every day. All right. And yesterday we discussed this kind of skill mean at with my student at the IU Columbus, and one of the students said that there's one 5-year-old boy, somehow his dad has heart attack. He's too young, and so when his dad passed that, so when his dad fell out, so somehow he could call, that's 5-year-old boy, call 911. And of course, the operator tried to guide him, but he said, "I'm still young. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how could they help my dad and so forth." And so somehow that operator said, "Well, if you don't know how to do CPR, just jump on his chest. You know, for us we can use the hand, right? But this 5-year-old boy is still young. He's still little." So only thing he could help his dad is to jump on his dad's chest. That's good, man. Wow. You see that?
Yeah, we're talking about skill.
Mm-hmm. That's a skill. That's a skill how we empower the people, how we deal with the situation. That's what they call skill mean in any circumstances, in the religious life, in material life, and so on, in the relationship.
Did it help?
Yeah, it's help. Okay? Alright, so again, that's skill mean. Okay, how about this one? What do you have a Pure Land concept of theory? What do you mean?
Okay, Pure Land Buddhism is a religion of faith in Amitabha Buddha
Yes.
and one's ability to achieve Buddhahood. Amitabha Buddha presides over the Pure Land. It's a paradise in the West. There's no suffering or defilement and delusion that normally blocks people's efforts towards enlightenment. And when this teaching came about, it was very popular because it was a time of a lot of warfare and unhappiness.
Yeah.
And so they thought it might be easier for people to take a simpler approach to enlightenment. And so the immediate goal of Pure Land believers is to be reborn into the Pure Land, because there's more favorable surroundings, so it's easier to attain enlightenment without the distraction of difficulties. They do an invoking of the name of Amitabha Buddha. There's more. Should I keep going?
That's okay. You can summarize.
Okay.
But you can summarize what.
According to Pure Land teaching, all sorts of evil karma are dissolved by reciting the Buddha name wholeheartedly and single-mindedly. All classes go to Pure Land, whether you're one of the top, like a bodhisattva, you know, staying on the path, or if you're a person who has a whole bunch of evil karma and you haven't done very well with your enlightenment. If you stay focused on the repetition of the Buddha's name and single-mindedness, that you can also be born into that area. Pure Land is depicted in a way to design and attract believers. There's no sickness, age, or death. And once you're when you're born into Pure Land, they say you're born from a lotus flower rather than from a woman, so there's no pain
Yeah.
in that process. And once they are in that land, they're beyond the danger of falling back into lesser incarnations.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Actually, the Mahayana Pure Land is not only the Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, but it's in the east, the west, and so forth. There's all kind of Pure Land in Buddhism. But here, you read. Let's say when you go to library, when you go to bookstore, there's many self-help books, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Including meditation, do yoga, and so forth, right? That's self-help. You help yourself. You do the practice and help yourself to handle your mentality, handle your emotion. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of effort. Is that right? In order, and most religion, all they have, be saved. Right? You be saved by Jesus Christ, you be saved like Buddha and so forth. That's enough practice. Yeah.
So what is Pure Land again?
All they have. Like in the Christian religion, in Catholic religion, you rely upon the help, you be saved. If you believe in Jesus Christ, you can go to heaven. Similarly, if you believe in any Buddha, you have the faith, you be saved. You be rescued to the Pure Land. That's all they have.
Okay.
Make sense? There's sometimes people cannot help themselves, right? They could rely upon other people help. It makes sense? Is that clear?
So
There's two paths.
So does that
Self-help
mean-
and other people help, yeah.
So does that mean if you go Pure Land, you don't have to see the, well, you still have to see the enlightenment?
You will. Now, there is the seed. Everyone has that seed, right? Buddha nature. Every ascension being has that seed. And this is the fruit. Right? This is the fruit. That's the goal of Mahayana tradition. When you plant this seed, you have that seed, and if it, according to how much you can do, let's say if you can do meditation, like the Buddhas and the Zen master, they can do it well. They can help themselves to achieve enlightenment. Make sense? But many people they can't. They need help. That is why last time we talked about this one here. I don't still have it, right? Oh, let me see. Let me skip this one. How about, can you say something from here?
Well, everything that I had is basically exactly what she said, but I also found the origins of it.
Okay.
It first came from Mount Lushan
Okay.
in China, which they believe that because of the mist surrounding the mountain, that it's a spiritual home for deities.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was made, there's a teacher, I think his name was Hai Yon.
Yeah.
And he realized that it was too difficult for some people to achieve nirvana. So he gathered followers and created what I believe was called the White Lotus Sutra. And then that was how the Pure Land Buddhism was born. I
Actually,
think.
yeah, it's originally in India, but it's become popular in China. And it's initiated by him, by Huan Yan. That's the monk. Again, I think it's similar in Bible. Provide I become a Buddha. That means if after I become Buddha, if the beings of the 10 quarter, you know what's in 10 quarter? You don't know? East, we have 4 directions, right? East, west, north, south, right? Not east, not west, southeast, southwest, 8, up and down. 10 quarters, who after having heard my names and thus awaken their highest faith and aspiration of rebirth in that country that's of mine. Even they have recollected such a thought for 10 times only. That means if they just inside his name, practice, they say his name only 10 times, they will be saved. They will rescue, they will be saved to a Pure Land. Is it similar? Yeah?
Whose name?
Amitabha Buddha. This one here, Amitabha Buddha. He made the vows. I think we studied, remember we studied Pure Sutra last time, right? He made the vows. This one is one of the vows. It's 48 vows. This one of the vows. He established a Pure Land so that people can go there. Let's say, why do people like to go Disneyland?
For enjoyment.
Yeah. You see that? You see? And why do we go to school?
To learn
And get the
wisdom.
Get a degree. Knowledge.
Okay.
Get a degree so that we can be prepared for future career. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the Pure Land is a place where, in Buddhist tradition, where you will be trained to become Buddha.
Okay,
To attend to this Buddhahood.
it's a school.
You can say the school, the place, the pure land, the paradise. No more suffering. Imagine that you don't need to go to school, and imagine that you don't need to search for a job. It's like heaven, right? You have whatever you want. You have. That's called Buddhist paradise. But the purpose to go there is not to enjoy life, but to become Buddha, to achieve to Buddhahood. Right? You see that? The purpose of people like to go to heaven because they want to live in that kind of paradise forever with their happiness. Is that right? To join with the God and so forth. But the purpose to go there, not only to enjoy life, but to become Buddha. In order to be, so that they can have more skill, more wisdom to go back and have all the sentient beings. Not to become Buddha by yourself, for yourself. Yes?
So I'm a little confused by the feeling. It's a physical place, or I got the idea that maybe it was a spiritual place, kind of like heaven.
Kind of. Up to now, of course, this is their faith, right? We don't know where it is, but let me see here. You know, right? And this one here, look at this here. They estimate as 20 billion Earth-like planets in our galaxy. And according to this view, again, this Earth is so small. And that's what the Buddha said for more than 2,500 years ago. And there's all kind of galaxies, all kind of universe out there that we have not known yet. And all kind of human-like, I don't know. You understand that?
20 billion?
Well, if you're reborn into the Pure Land, are you still part of the
No.
karma circle?
No, you are out there.
Oh.
You are not here anymore. And ultimately, when you go there, you become Buddha. Of course, there's what we call 9 grades, 9 levels, according to the practice. But when you go there, you feel free from here. That's all. That's the ultimate goal. So let me mention one point. So, Buddhist, especially Mahayana Buddhist tradition, is recognized everyone has this right? Buddha nature, right? Have potential to become Buddha, right? Some of us say we can do it ourselves, have the Zen master, right? The holy monk. But some of us, Buddhist tradition, many of us, we could not have that ability. Many of us could have that kind of courage. Makes sense? So they rely upon this Amitabha Buddha, so that they can be born in Amitabha Buddha land. So mentally, yeah, they reach to this kind of Buddhahood. You see? So the goal is the same, right? The goal is to achieve the Buddhahood, to become Buddha by self-help or helping from others. Make sense? Right? But yes.
What were the 9 levels? What's the title of those?
Oh, the non-returner is just different. They just belong to arhatship. Yeah. So now I'm talking about the goal of Buddhahood here. Is that clear now? You see that? Okay. So I
just got one question. That Buddha, the Buddha.
Amitabha Buddha.
Is that the same as Siddhartha Buddha?
No, that's different.
Different Buddha.
That's different Buddha.
Okay.
We can say celestial Buddhas. Celestial Buddhas. They're not historical Buddha, but celestial Buddha.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
I have a really random question that I don't know if you have time to answer.
Okay.
But you know how sometimes people will say this is like the reincarnation of this person. How do people come to those conclusions?
Oh.
About who you were in your last lifetime, or that this person is the Dalai Lama, or different things like that.
It's really a long story. Let me make it short. If you, let's say, if you recognize reincarnation, right? Okay. Have you been abroad before? Have you been in Europe, in Asia, out in the country? Where?
I've been to Germany, Europe.
How about you?
All over the Europe, Middle East, and
Really?
Africa.
Okay. Okay. So